let's be honest, we stare at our screens for like half our lives. But have you ever stopped to think about what's staring back? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that light, the light that's always in our faces, and figure out what it's really doing to us.
Just look at that number, 13 plus hours. I mean, just think about your day. You probably grabbed your phone first thing this morning, right? Then the laptop for work, maybe some TV at night. It all adds up.
And for a lot of us, it adds up to this. Yep, that's the new reality. More than half of our day spent just looking at a screen. And because this has become such a huge part of our lives, we really need to understand the light that's pouring out of these things.
All right, so let's get right into it. What is this blue light that everybody's talking about?
Okay, so you see that term right there, high energy? That's really the key. The easiest way to think about it is like a rainbow. On one end, you've got these long, kind of lazy red waves, but on the other end, you've got these short, super energetic blue waves. It's kind of like waves at the beach. The quick, choppy ones hit you with a lot more force, right? Well, these blue light waves pack a similar punch.
So I'm going to guess when you hear blue light, your mind immediately goes to your phone, right? Or your laptop. But what if I told you that's not even close to being the biggest source? I mean, not by a long shot.
Yeah, it's the sun. Good old-fashioned sunlight. It is the OG and still by far the most powerful source of blue light we ever come across. And honestly, this is the piece of the puzzle that almost always gets left out of the conversation.
And this is where things get really interesting, because it's not actually about how intense the light is. Get this, just 1 minute outside on a sunny day hits you with more blue light than staring at your screen for 24 hours straight. So the real concern with our devices isn't some big, powerful blast. No, it's the drip, drip, drip. That constant, low-level exposure, day in and day out, usually just inches from our face. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, so what does this marathon of exposure actually do to us? Well, the research seems to be pointing to 3 key areas: our eyes, our sleep, and maybe surprisingly, our skin.
I mean, does this list look familiar to anyone? That feeling of eye strain, blurry vision, maybe your eyes feel all dry and irritated, headaches? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. It's called digital eye strain, and it's that just tired, gritty, headachy feeling you get after a long day staring at a screen.
So a lot of us, to fight this, have bought those blue light blocking glasses. But here's a little plot twist. A huge scientific review from 2023, the Cochrane Review, looked at all the evidence, and they found that those glasses, they might not actually do anything for eye strain. The science is still a little fuzzy, for sure, but it kind of suggests the real fix isn't what we put on our face, but how we change our habits.
So, if the glasses aren't the answer, then what is? Well, to figure that out, we've got to talk about sleep, and specifically a little hormone called melatonin. Just think of it as your body's personal go-to-sleep signal. It's the stuff that tells your brain, okay, it's dark out, time to shut down for the night.
And here's the kicker. Your brain is basically hardwired to think blue light equals daytime. So when you're scrolling on your phone in bed, in a dark room, that little glowing rectangle is sending a powerful message to your brain. It's shouting, hey, wake up, it's the middle of the day. And your brain responds by hitting the brakes on that melatonin production, which can totally mess up your entire sleep schedule.
All right, and now for the one that might really surprise you. Your skin. Yeah, we all know to be careful with UV rays from the sun, but it turns out this high-energy visible light, blue light, can also play a role in things like premature aging and dark spots.
Okay, take a look at this. This picture is from a real clinical study, and it's pretty wild. What you're looking at is skin that got a controlled dose of visible light. And what happens is that light can dive deep into your skin and create these nasty little unstable molecules called free radicals. Think of them like tiny wrecking balls just bouncing around, damaging healthy cells. And all that damage can lead to what you see here, those dark spots, also known as hyperpigmentation.
Okay, so that's a lot of the what's going wrong. But here's the good news. We are absolutely not powerless here. There are some really simple, practical things we can all do to push back.
First up for your eyes is something called the 20-20-20 rule. You've probably heard of it. Here's why it actually works. You have these tiny little muscles in your eyes that get totally exhausted from focusing on something close up for hours on end. So when you look far away, it's literally like giving those muscles a much-needed stretch break. It just lets them relax and reset.
And hey, don't forget about the tools that are already built right into your devices. You know, that night mode or eye comfort shield. That's not just for looks. It's designed to dial down the exact kind of blue light that's screaming daytime at your brain.
Even simple stuff like just turning down the brightness and maybe not holding your phone right up to your face can make a huge difference.
And what about your skin? Well, the answer might already be sitting on your bathroom shelf. We think of sunscreen for UV light, right? But some of the newer formulas out there are actually designed to help with a visible light spectrum too.
This chart right here tells a really cool story. That bar on the left, that's how much pigmentation visible light caused, even with a regular sunscreen. But look at the bar on the right. That's what happens when you use a sunscreen that's been beefed up with antioxidants. The pigmentation is way, way lower. Why? Because those antioxidants are like a cleanup crew for those wrecking ball free radicals we mentioned. They neutralize them before they can do any damage. It's a total game changer for protecting your skin.
So let's zoom out. After all this, what's the big picture? Is blue light just bad?
Well, not really. The real takeaway here isn't that a quick glance at your phone is going to hurt you. It's all about the cumulative effect, the day after day, year after year exposure. It's really about being more mindful of how we use our screens and knowing that making small, consistent changes can add up to a huge difference over our lifetime.
Look, our devices are here to stay. They're only getting more and more woven into the fabric of our lives. So the question isn't, how do we get rid of them? The real question is, how do we evolve our habits to match our technology? How can we be a little smarter, a little more intentional, so we can live with them in a healthier way? Something to think about the next time you reach for your phone.